tell us you are ready to go, so nothing counts before that. Thank you, Karen.
Okay, we're ready.
Sorry.
Okay. So we're the Pleiades. My name is Molly.
I'm Emily.
I'm Suzanne.
I'm Gwen.
I'm Liza.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Stephanie.
We got the idea for our research project from a newspaper article that talked about the impacts of fishing practices on the ocean's health, biodiversity, and productivity. We thought about this as a team and decided that the seafood we eat the most is shrimp and salmon. So we set out to research how the harvesting of shrimp and salmon affect the ocean. One of the things that was mentioned in this article was a fish card that tells which fish are good for the environment and which fish are bad or depleted. And this is good because it's small and can fit in your wallet or pocket for when you go grocery shopping or out to eat at restaurants.
One problem with shrimp when they're caught is this net right here is the trawl that is used mostly in modern days today with their shrimp catching. It has a large opening at the front and is dragged along the bottom of the seafloor. The only problem with this net is that it catches everything that's in its path, and so this can cause a lot of bycatch, which is unwanted fish. And so when this is brought to the surface, these fish die pretty much instantly on the boat, and so this causes a lot of depletion of these species and isn't good.
Absolutely not.
Shrimp farming was created as an alternative to shrimp trawling, but it didn't really work out as people thought it would. It just transferred the destruction from ocean floors and coral reefs to mangroves and estuaries. Scientists say that over half of mangroves in the world have already been cut down, and that's really not good because mangroves are incredibly important ecosystems. They are protective breeding grounds for many different types of animals, such as crabs, and they help keep the coastlines together and they prevent flooding. So when the shrimp farmers come in and they cut down the mangroves, there's a dramatic increase of flooding, and it destroys the habitats of all the animals. And when the larvae are growing, the shrimp larvae, they dump antibiotics, chemicals, and fertilizers into the farms. And then when it's harvest time for the shrimp, they just release it back into the estuaries, which basically destroys everything. And it destroys the livelihood of the people who live in this area as well. So basically, shrimp farming wasn't the great idea people thought it was.
The other topic we researched was salmon, and a lot of people think farm salmon doesn't have a big impact on the ocean, but it actually does, because for every pound of salmon, they have to eat 6 pounds of other kinds of fish, and that can cause extinction to those fish. Also, their waste, it flushes right out into the ocean, and that can be really bad. Yeah.
There are also some kinds of good salmon, and they're caught in Alaska wilds. And what's good about Alaska is it has clean water, so the fish can reproduce faster when they're caught. And they're line caught, so not net caught, so they don't get any bycatch.
We thought of 2 possible solutions. One would be to take the bycatch from the shrimp and salmon nets and turn it into pellets to feed the farmed salmon. And but Emily talked to a marine engineer, and he said that wouldn't work because the fish are already dead when they get to the boats. and they need to be fresh when they're made into pellets, otherwise the salmon won't eat them. So then we thought maybe we could make or have a tray underneath the salmon farms to catch all the waste that comes down from them, and then take that and turn it into fertilizer for people to put on their gardens.
And another thing is, scientists are actually working on this right now. It's these two trawls right here that are used for shrimp. The first one right here has a grate-like system that looks almost like a drain. The fish swim in here when it's dragged along the floor. There's an opening right here that the large fish swim out of, so then that takes away those fish. The shrimp and other small fish go through this grating, and they're trapped inside that and brought up to the surface. The only problem with that is that the small shrimp and the small fish aren't fully matured, so that also starts the depletion of these, so they can't grow. So they came up with this one, which has two grates. The first one has big openings, and the other one has smaller openings. So when the fish and shrimp come in, the big fish go out. The rest of the thing go inside here. The big shrimp are trapped inside here, and the smaller shrimp and smaller fish keep going. So they can keep growing and maturing.
They're not using that yet, though?
They actually are. A little bit, not that much, just a little bit.
That was a little progress.
Another solution we thought of was to have a logo that people could put on seafood restaurant menus, so they could know of an eco-friendly option that people could buy their fish of. This is what it looks like. It's a world with a fish on it, and that's one of the things we thought of.
And as our final solution, we created this pamphlet to hand out to people. We've been giving it out at the tournament today, and we'll be giving it out elsewhere as well. It basically explains in brief what we've just told you about shrimp and salmon, and we're hoping it will create some awareness about this problem of research.